Our story today is Peter. And I suppose when we talk about Peter, there's lots of different stories that we could tell. But this is the story about Peter going out to meet Jesus. While Peter's in a boat and Jesus is on the water. So we'll get started. I'm going to shift my computer ever so slightly so we can share the book. Jesus wants to pray by himself. He sends Peter and the other disciples ahead of him in a boat on the Sea of Galilee. So there we see Jesus on the shore, and here are his disciples, and they're getting in the boat. There's the edge of the shore of the Sea of Galilee. Everyone see that? The sea is rough and strong. Winds make it hard to sail across the water. Here you go. You see that wind whipping up there and the waves whipping up, and they're in the boat. They look a little concerned. We see a little frown here. It's hard to tell. You see a little frowny face, a little concerned face right there. Everyone see that? Suddenly, the disciples see Jesus walking on the water toward them. They're terrified and scream. "It is I. Do not be afraid," Jesus tells them. So there you see the folks, the disciples in the boat. You see Jesus walking on the water. What would you think? How would you feel if you're in a boat and you saw someone walking on the water? Would that scare you? I think I might be scared. I might wonder, who is that? How is it possible that somebody's there walking on the water? And so they were terrified. You had the storm, and then you had this creepy figure out on the water. They didn't know it was Jesus. Peter says, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you on the water." Jesus tells him to come. So there's Peter. He's at the edge of the boat, and he cries out to Jesus. Now, you don't see Jesus in the picture this time. But he says, "Jesus, if that's really you, tell me to come to you." And so that's what Jesus does. He says, "Peter, come." Peter gets out of the boat, and he walks on the water too. There he is. Look at that. He's just walking on the water, just like Jesus is walking on the water. How cool would that be? He's only able to do that by the power of God. But soon, Peter becomes afraid, and the wind begins to sink. "Lord, save me," he cries. So there he is. Jesus is still walking on the water. But Peter, well, he's starting to sink. He's scared. He's terrified. "What's going on, Lord?" Jesus grabs Peter's hand, and together they walk back to the boat. The disciples are amazed. Truly, Jesus is the Son of God, they say. And that's the end of that story. There they are. Jesus and Peter walking back to the boat. Here's the disciples in the boat, and they're amazed. Look at what Jesus was able to do.